Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of the Vice-Chancellor and all staff of General Sir John Kotelawala Defence University, I warmly welcome you all to the commemoration oration of the 128th birth anniversary of the late General the Right Honourable Sir John Lionel Kotelawala. The commemoration will be commencing shortly. We kindly request you to be seated before the commencement and keep your mobile phones preferably switched off or on silent mode until the ceremony is over. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, we are now witnessing the arrival of the chief guest and the orator of the commemoration of the 128th birth anniversary of late General the Right Honourable Sir John Lionel Kotelawala, President Council Mr. Prasanta Lal Dialvis, the Principal of the Sri Lanka Law College. As we commence this evening's proceedings, it's only befitting that we begin by paying tribute to the remarkable leader in whose honour we gather today, General Sir John Lionel Kotelawala. At this moment, I respectfully invite Rear Admiral H.G.U. Dhammika Kumara, the Vice-Chancellor of General Sir John Kotelawala Defence University, and Mr. Kalana Kotelawala, representing kinsman family members of the late General the Right Honourable Sir John Lionel Kotelawala, to step forward and garland the late General Right Honourable Sir John Lionel Kotelawala, C.H. KBE, LLD, honoris causa, as a gesture of the deep respect and gratitude. Thank you. Please be seated.
ජෝන් කොතලාවල සහ ඇලිස් ආටිගල කුලවතුන්ගේ ජ්‍යෙෂ්ඨ පුත් ජෝන් කොතලාවල මෙලොව එළිය දුටුවේ 1897 අප්‍රේල් 4 වැනිදාය. කොළඹ රාජකීය විද්‍යාලයේ මූලික අධ්‍යාපනය ලැබූ ඔහු එවකට විද්‍යාලීය ක්‍රිකට් කණ්ඩායමේ ප්‍රබල දස්කම්පෑ ක්‍රීඩකයෙකු වූ අතර විද්‍යාලීය නාට්‍ය කණ්ඩායමේ සිටි දක්ෂ නළුවෙකුද විය. පසුව එංගලන්තයේ කේම්බ්‍රිජ් විශ්වවිද්‍යාලයට ඇතුළුව සිය අධ්‍යාපනය නිමාවට පත් කළේය. යොනම රාණ්ඩුක්‍රමයේ අධික මෙරට පිහිටුවන ලද රාජ්‍ය මන්ත්‍රී සභාවේ කුරුණෑගල ආසනය වැඩි ඡන්ද දසදහසකින් ජයගත් ජෝන් කොතලාවල මැතිතුමා සිය දේශපාලන ඉතිහාසයේ මුල් පියවර සටහන් තබන ලදී. 1936 දී පැවති දෙවැනි මහා ඡන්ද විමසීමේදී මුදලගෙන් රාජ්‍ය මන්ත්‍රී සභාවේ අසනක් හිමි කරගත් එතුමා ප්‍රසිද්ධ වැඩ හා ගමනාගමන ඇමති පදවියට පත් විය. ගගන යානා නියමක වශයෙන් ආරම්භක බලපත් ලැබූ එතුමා සිය ඇමති දුරේ ඵල යොදමින් රත්මලාන ගුවන් තොටුපළ පැනීමේ මූලික කටයුතු ආරම්භ කරන ලදී. මෙම වකවානුවේදීම මෙරට තරුණ පරපුරට ඵලදායී රැකියාවල යෙදීමේ අරමුණින් ප්‍රථම වරට පිහිටුවන ලද බෞද්ධ තාක්ෂණික පූර්ණ මධ්‍යස්ථානය රත්මලානයේදී විවෘත කරන ලදී. ජාතික සේවයට අවශ්‍ය බුද්ධිමතුන් දී කිරීමේ අරමුණින් මෙරට ආරම්භ කරන ලද පේරාදෙණිය විශ්වවිද්‍යාලය එතුමාගේ ජාතික සේවයේ නොනැකෙන සීවතනයකි. ප්‍රසිද්ධ වැඩ හා ගමනාගමන ඇමති වශයෙන් සිය ඉතිහාසයට එක්කල වැදගත් සටහන් අතර මුනිසිරිපා පාසලක් සමන්ලාට විය විදුලියෙන් ඒකාලෝක කිරීම හා ජාතියට අවශ්‍ය විදුලි බල සම්පාදනය කිරීම සඳහා ලක්ෂපාන ජල විදුලි බලාගාරය තනවා විවෘත කිරීමද ප්‍රමුඛ ස්ථානයක් ගනු ලබයි. බෞද්ධයෙකු ශ්‍රීමත් ජෝන් කොතලාවල මැතිතුමා 1953 ඔක්තෝබර් මාස 12 වැනි දින නිදහස් ලංකාවේ තුන්වැනි අග්‍රාමාත්‍ය ධුරයට පත් විය. සිය ධුරයේ වැඩ කටයුතු කරන කාලයේදී එතුමා අතින් ජාතියේ සංවර්ධනයට සිදු වූ බොහෝ සේවාවන් අතර රජරටට ජල සම්පාදනය පිණිස විවෘත වූ කුරුණුගව වාරිමාර්ග යෝජනා ක්‍රමය විශේෂ ස්ථානයක් ගනී. කොළඹ වරායේ විජය පතාකාන්දනය විවෘත කිරීමද කැලණිය නවපාලන සඳහා අත්විවරම දැමීමද එතුමා අතින් සිදු මාළු සේවාවන්ගෙන් බිඳකි. අසිරිමත් සිංහල බෞද්ධ නායකයෙකු ශ්‍රීමත් ජෝන් කොතලාවල අගමැතිතුමා ද්‍රවිඩ මුස්ලිම් සහ අනිකුත් සුළු ජාතීන් අතර ජනප්‍රිය පුද්ගලයෙකු විය. එතුමා හින්දු මහමත් ක්‍රිස්තියානි ආගමික උත්සවයන්හිදී මුල් තැනක්ගෙන ක්‍රියා කිරීමෙන් වචනේ පරිසමාප්තාර්ථයෙන්ම ජාතික සමගිය ගොඩනැංවීමේ යොසුළු විය. යුද හමුදාවේ ලෙෆ්ටිනන්ට් කර්නල් ධුරයක් ලබා සිටි ශ්‍රීමත් ජෝන් කොතලාවල මැතිතුමා නොබෝදා ගරු ජනාධිපතිතුමන් විසින් ගරු ජනරාල් පදවියකට උසස් කරනු ලැබීය. යුද්ධ නිලධාරියෙකු වශයෙන් ලැබූ විනයගරුකත්වය සියලුම රටවැසියන්ගෙන් අපේක්ෂා කළ කෙනෙකි ශ්‍රීමත් ජෝන් කොතලාවල මැතිතුමා. කුඩා දරුවන් කෙරෙහි දැඩි සෙනෙහසක් පෑ එතුමා ඔවුන් ඇසුර තමා ලද සම්පතක් ලෙස සැලකීය. 1948 දී බුරුමේ නිල සංචාරයේ යෙදුන ශ්‍රීමත් ජෝන් කොතලාවල මැතිතුමා රැන්කුන් ගුවන්විදුලියෙන් කළ ප්‍රකාශයකින් ගොඩනැගුණු ආසියාවේ අගමැතිවරුන්ගේ එකමුතුව 1954 දී කොළඹ පැවැත්වී පංචමහා බලවතුන්ගේ කොළඹ සමුළුව වශයෙන් ප්‍රකට මෙම සමුළුවට පාකිස්තානයේ බුරුමය ඉන්දියාව ඉන්දුනීසියාව හා ශ්‍රී ලංකාව දායත් විය. මෙය නොබැදි ජාතීන්ගේ මහා සමුළුවේ ආරම්භක පියවර වශයෙන්ද සැලකේ. මහා බ්‍රිතාන්‍යයේ මහරජින හා පොදු රාජ්‍ය මණ්ඩල නායිකාව වන දෙවැනි එලිසබෙත් මහරාජිනිය සිය වල්ලභ කුමරු සමග 1954 දී ලංකාවට සැපත් වීමේ අවස්ථාව ශ්‍රීමත් ජෝන් කොතලාවල මැතිතුමාගේ දේශපාලන ජීවිතයේ අමරණීය සිහිවටනයකි. එතුමාගේ නිතු රාජ්‍ය හා ජාතික සේවය අගය කළ එංගලන්තයේ රාජාංග විසින් එතුමා මහාමාන්‍ය පදවියෙන් පුදමුල මහාමාන්‍ය ශ්‍රීමත් ජෝන් කොතලාවල මැතිතුමා තමා සතු දීපලද යුද හමුදා පූර්ව මධ්‍යස්ථානයක් ගැනීම සඳහා රජයට පවරා දෙනු ලැබිය.
The chief guest and the esteemed orator of the ceremony, President's Counsel, Mr. Prasantha Lal D. Alvis, the principal of the Sri Lanka Law College, and Mrs. Prasantha Lal D. Alvis, General S.H.S. Kotegoda, retired, WWV, RWP, RSP, VSV, USP, NDC, the Chancellor of General Sir John Kotelawala Defence University, Rear Admiral H.G.U. Thamikakumara, VSV, USP, PSC, the Vice Chancellor of General Sir John Kotelawala Defence University, retired and serving officers of the KDU alumni, members of the kinsman families of the late General Right Honourable Sir John Lionel Kotelawala, Mr. Shehant C. Pereira, Vice President of the Sri Lanka Law College, Brigadier R.K.A.R.P. Ratnayaka, RSP, USP, PSC, the Deputy Vice Chancellor, Defence and Administration, Deans of the Faculties, Adjutant of General Sir John Kotelawala Defence University, Directors, Senior Officers, Academia, Officers, Students, Ladies and Gentlemen, a very good evening. On behalf of the Vice Chancellor, I warmly welcome you all for the oration ceremony of late General the Right Honourable Sir John Lionel Kotelawala at General Sir John Kotelawala Defence University. Your presence is one that enriches our gathering and adds such significant value to this event. I stand before this honorable gathering at a historic moment for our university, the commemoration oration of the 128th birth anniversary of late General the Right Honorable Sir John Lionel Kotelawala. Throughout history, great leaders have shaped the course of nations. Visionaries such as Lee Kuan Yew of Singapore, who transformed a small island nation into a global economic powerhouse, Dr. Mahathir Mohamad of Malaysia, who modernized and strengthened his country's economy, and Dwight Eisenhower, the 34th President of the United States, whose leadership safeguarded democracy and freedom, stand as towering figures of inspiration. And among the legacy of these greats is an institution named in honor of one of Sri Lanka's most respected leaders, General Sir John Kotelawala Defence University, stands as a testament to the late General Right Honourable Sir John Lionel Kotelawala's enduring legacy and his commitment to the defence and security of our great nation. Being a well-decorated military leader and a fine statesman, he always focused on building the character and leadership of the youth of this country. John F. Kennedy, the 35th President of the United States, has once said, "Leadership and learning are indispensable to each other." And this philosophy resonates with General Sir John Kotelawala's vision, one that recognizes that the strength of a nation lies in its intellectual and moral foundation as much as its military prowess, setting forth to establish a defense academy which would provide this intellectual foundation for the future military leaders of this country. General Sir John Lionel Kotelawala always advocated for the empowering of youth and followed the motto of KDU, for the motherland forever. He did not limit his vision for the nation only to his words, evident as he donated his entire property of the Kandhavala estate to establish the Kotelawala Defence Academy, which has now flourished into a prestigious university as General Sir John Kotelawala Defence University today. As we gather here for the annual General Sir John Lionel Kotelawala Oration, we reaffirm our commitment to upholding the vision of General Sir John Kotelawala, the third Prime Minister of an independent Sri Lanka, a distinguished and patriotic soldier, and an icon of leadership whose influence resonates deeply in the ethos of our nation. It's a testament to his remarkable contribution that Kotelawala Defence University stands today with pride and honour, shaping future leaders who will serve our nation with integrity, carrying forward his timeless motto, "For the motherland forever." Now, I'd respectfully invite the chief guest and esteemed orator, President's Counsel, Mr. Prasantha Lal de Alvis, and the Principal of the Sri Lanka Law College on stage to receive the Oratory Medal, accompanied by Rear Admiral H.G.U. Dhammika Kumara, the Vice Chancellor of General Sir John Kotelawala Defence University. Now I respectfully invite Rear Admiral H.G. Dhammika Kumara, the Vice Chancellor of General Sir John Kotelawala Defence University, to present the Oratory Medal to the President's Counsel, Mr. Prasantha Lal de Alvis. Thank you, sir. It is both a privilege and an honor to introduce the chief guest and esteemed orator of today's ceremony, a luminary in the legal fraternity, a stalwart in academia, and an individual who has made profound contributions to the legal landscape of Sri Lanka, President's Counsel, Mr. Prasantha Lal de Alvis, the Principal of Sri Lanka Law College. A distinguished alumnus of the Ananda College, Colombo, Mr. Dialwis was not only an exceptional student, but also a formidable orator, leading both the single and debating teams to victory, foreshadowing the eloquence and the legal prowess that would define his remarkable career. His journey in law commenced at the University of Colombo, where he earned his Bachelor of Laws degree before being called to the bar as an attorney at law. His exceptional legal acumen saw him join the Attorney General's Department of Sri Lanka as a state counsel in 1984, where he served with distinction until 1990. Thereafter, he devoted over 3 decades to the private bar, mastering both civil and criminal litigation with unparalleled expertise. Beyond his exceptional career as a legal practitioner, President's Counsel Mr. Dialwis has adorned many prestigious roles, earning reverence as an erudite scholar, an influential academic, and a visionary leader. He pursued his Master of Laws at the University of Colombo, where he later served as a visiting lecturer, nurturing the next generation of legal minds. His profound dedication to enriching Sri Lanka's legal and cultural heritage is evident in his instrumental role in organizing Sri Lanka's first ever Buddhist Jurisprudence Conference in 2014 and advocating for the inclusion of Buddhist jurisprudence in university curricula. A devout lay patron of the revered Gangaramaya Temple, his contributions transcend the legal sphere, embodying a deep commitment to the country's spiritual and intellectual growth. He is also a man of international stature. President's Counsel Mr. Dialwis was entrusted with a diplomatic honor in 2012 when the President of Seychelles appointed him as the Honorary Consul of the Republic of Seychelles in Sri Lanka, a testament to his expertise in international law and international relations. His influence also extended to the corporate realm, where he served on the board of directors of Sampath Bank and remains a life member of the Royal Asiatic Society of Sri Lanka. His latest accolade, a pinnacle in legal academia, was his appointment in October 2024 as the principal of Sri Lanka Law College by the Council of Legal Education, chaired by His Lordship, the Chief Justice of the Supreme Court, a role in which he now shapes the future of Sri Lanka's legal profession. Ladies and gentlemen, we are truly privileged to be graced by a luminary of such distinction, whose life's work has fortified the pillars of justice, education, and diplomacy. With the highest esteem, I now invite the President's Counsel, Mr. Prasantalal Dialwis, Principal of Sri Lanka Law College, to deliver his oratory address. Sir, the stage is yours.
Chancellor Sir, Vice Chancellor Sir, Dean of the Faculty of Law, distinguished officers, and Kalana Kotelawala, State Counsel of the Attorney General's Department, who is representing Kotelawala family, and dear cadets and students. I stand before you today as a proud privilege to speak about Sir John Kotelawala, a great hero of this nation. And I thank the Dean, Mr. Mangala Vijayasinghe, for proposing my name, and Vice Chancellor Sir for accepting that offer. If not for both of you, I would not be standing, having this proud privilege of speaking about my hero, your hero. It is both rare and remarkable for an individual to be remembered with admiration by their community during their lifetime, and even more so decades after their passing away. Sir John Kotelawala is one such extraordinary figure. Likewise, the university that bears his name has in a relatively short span of time established a strong and a distinguished presence within Sri Lanka's educational and institutional landscape. Sir John Kotelawala Defence University, the KDU, continues to carry forward his legacy, sharing future generations. A comparable example in Sri Lanka is the Gampaha Wickramarachchi University of Indigenous Medicine, which upholds the rich tradition of Siddha Ayurveda. Through its graduates who serve as Gampaha Bedshalawa centers across the country. Just as that institution represented distinctive medical heritage, Sir John Kotelawala represents a unique statesmanship rooted in Sri Lanka's proud history, defined by characteristics and values that remain singular to his legacy. In 1956, Sir John Kotelawala published his autobiography, aptly titled An Asian Prime Minister's Story. The cover bearing the lion with the sword taken from the national flag is a powerful emblem of his unwavering patriotism. The book offers a candid and compelling insight into his life and convictions expressed in his own words. It is from this autobiography that I draw much of my inspiration, as it provides a rare, unfiltered glimpse into the mind and character of a statesman who helped shape Sri Lanka's post-independent identity. In the preface, Sir John writes with characteristic clarity, I quote, "My chief aim in writing this book is to explain and justify the strong stand I took at the Bandung Conference of Asian and African leaders against colonialism of any form." He further asserts, I quote, "I feel that I am in a particular favorable position for judging what foreign domination at its worst and its best means for its subject of people." These words reflect not only his deep personal experience, but also his fierce commitment to sovereignty, dignity, and justice for all nations emerging from colonial rule. At the Bandung Conference in 1956, addressing a gathering of newly independent nations, Sir John declared boldly, and I quote, "If we are to succeed in our efforts to maintain peace, it is essential that the great powers should be convinced that the people of Asia and Africa are solidly united in the cause of freedom and peace. This call for solidarity, courage, and moral clarity continues to resonate across time and serves as a reminder of the fearless voice he brought to the global stage on behalf of our motherland, Sri Lanka." Sir John Kotelawala has often been criticized for his perceived alignment with the West, evidenced, some argue, by his acceptance of a knighthood and the Western style attire. However, such critiques overlook the depth of his convictions, clearly articulated in the opening lines of his autobiography's preface. There he affirms his unwavering stance against colonialism in all its forms, revealing a statesman driven not by personal affinity, but by principles. Unlike in Sir John's era, today's youth are exposed to a globalized world through the rapid spread of information and values via social media and technological advancement. Their worldviews are shaped in real time, often without the filters of critical reflection or historical grounding. In this context, Sir John's approach offers timeless relevance. His ability to acknowledge both the worst and its best, aspects of foreign domination shows a nuanced understanding and, more importantly, the capacity to be discerning. As the Indian philosopher Rabindranath Tagore wrote in his Fireflies, "Open your door to that which must go, for the lost becomes unseemingly obstructed." Sir John exemplified this wisdom, embracing progress while defending sovereignty, choosing what serves the nation and discarding what does not. His legacy provides a compass for navigating modernity with critical insight and patriotic clarity. This, I think, is critical in the current times, where conflicts of a nature that we have not foreseen are emerging. The AI wars and the trade wars, for example. Sir John Kotelawala's character was shaped as much by adversity as by ambition. His early life was marked by hardship, which forged in him the resilience and the courage that would later define both his military and political careers. He joined the Ceylon Defence Force in 1927 as a second lieutenant at the age of 26 and steadily rose through the ranks, captain in 1929, major in 1933, lieutenant colonel in 1994, and eventually retiring as a colonel in 1944. In a fitting tribute, just before he passed away in 1980, His Excellency President J.R. Jayawardena conferred upon him the honorary rank of general, recognizing a lifetime of patriotic service. The military manual, ladies and gentlemen, outlines the ideal soldier as one possessing resoluteness, efficiency, courage, empathy, energy, personality, and tenacity. Sir John embodied each of these traits in full. These qualities, however, did not emerge overnight. They were forged through the hardship he encountered in his life. His father died when he was only 10 years old, leaving his widowed mother to raise him amidst financial struggles. Recalling this period in his autobiography, he writes, I quote, "Today I am regarded as a very rich man, but I was not born rich, and my family circumstances in my boyhood handicapped me badly. There was a time," unquote, "there was a time when his mother could not even afford a proper pair of shoes for him to go to Royal College where he studied." Sir John's honesty and humility are evident in his anecdotes. He recalls with both humor and poignancy how he would secretly hitch a ride on a horse carriage to save the tram fare his mother gave him, shielding his face behind school books to avoid being whipped by the horseman. The passenger in the carriage was a lawyer named Schneider, who later became a Supreme Court judge. He says that he never suspected that the young prankster behind him would one day become the Prime Minister of Sri Lanka. His formative years were also shaped by the socio-political turmoil of the 1915 riots, during which British authorities imprisoned leaders of the temperance movement, including D.S. Senayaka and F.R. Senayaka, both his relatives. As a schoolboy, Sir John was used to smuggle food to the detained leaders. Brave act at that, when discovered, cost him the captaincy of the Royal College cricket team. That loss, however, was painful, only added to the inner steel that would serve him throughout his public life. Sir John is a living example how hardship, rather than hindering success, can be its very foundation. His life stands as proof that a challenging childhood, met with courage and determination, can produce greatness. Naturally drawn to sports more than to books, young John preferred cricket, boxing, wrestling, and horsemanship. His teacher, Sir P. Nadesan, in his book, This Man Kotelawala, presented to Sir John on the occasion of his Parliamentary Silver Jubilee in 1956, fondly recalls the young student arriving at class in his Royal College blazer and cap, bat and ball in hand. Nadesan goes to draw a parallel to Sir Winston Churchill, who was the first Prime Minister who faced Nazis, who through undistinguished academically at Harrow, went to lead Britain through its darkest hour, driven by grit, love for adventure, and unshakable resolve, like Sir John Kotelawala. The importance of well-rounded character formation through sports and extracurricular pursuits is one that Sir John Kotelawala Defence University continues to uphold. As an institution bearing his name and legacy, it nurtures students not only in intellect, but in resilience, balance, and tenacity. In doing so, it prepares future leaders to face the world with courage, true to the spirit of Lion himself, Sir John, ever ready to rise beyond horizon. A leader must always remain loyal to his country. In Sinhala, we say one should be Jatikavadi, a true nationalist. Sir John Kotelawala's life motto was, Siya Ratata Mai Kavadavat, my country always, a phrase that remains embedded in the logo of the General Sir John Kotelawala Defence University. This motto encapsulates his deep sense of patriotism and national duty. Among his many contributions to the country, one of the most significant was his leadership in infrastructure and energy development. As Minister of Industries, Highways and Hydropower, he initiated and oversaw the construction of Sri Lanka's first ever major hydropower project, Lakshapana, which was inaugurated on 4th of March 1950. To mark this achievement, the renowned Tibetan Buddhist monk and poet S. Mahinda Thero composed a poem describing Sir John as a unifying force, bringing happiness to the people, dispelling ignorance, and safeguarding the nation with his life. I quote first two verses from the poem. I quote, Mutuharase Kalumati, Pavetana Atara Nonamati, Kotelawala Namati, Utum Parapura Babulu Vananiti. Dumata Duru Kota, Samagiya Satuta Ekkota, Siya De Samya Ratarakina, Divimut Puda Samavita. Speaking in the State Council on this project of hydropower, Sir John declared, I quote, we are now in an industrial age, in the days of old, when everything depended on agriculture. King Parakram Bahu insisted that every drop of water should go through an irrigation channel before it reached the sea. Today, we must insist that every watercourse should be made to go through a turbine and produce electrical energy. This statement showcases his foresight as a leader, one who was not just willing but eager to adapt and innovate. Just as he recognized the importance of hydropower in an industrial age, today we must harness renewable energy sources such as solar power to meet Sri Lanka's evolving need. Recent political development in Sri Lanka highlight the urgent need for honesty, integrity, and forthrightness in leadership. Despite interruption in his formal education, Sir John's integrity was unquestionable. And he was a leader who truly walked the talk. As Buddha said, Vishwasa Parama Jnati, trust is the best of relationship. It was this trust that allowed him to rise to power, becoming Minister of Communication and Work at the age of 39, later serving in various ministerial roles before ultimately being appointed Prime Minister in 1953 at the age of 57. Sir John was also a true democrat, following his party's electoral defeat in 1956. He peacefully transferred power to Prime Minister S.W.R.D. Bandaranayake 2 days before his official term had even ended. This act of political maturity contrasts sharply with the instability seen in modern governance. Sir John also had a strong sense of national dignity. When the British authorities attempted to appoint a British official as his secretary, he objected, stating that if the governor could have a single secretary, then he too would insist on a British secretary. His determination prevailed, and Sir Kandaiya Vaitanamanathan was appointed, the first Tamil to hold such a senior position as secretary, who later became the member of Sir John's cabinet. Sir John Kotelawala was a champion of free speech and expression, a defining feature of any true democracy. He was the often subject of political cartoons. Yet, instead of suppressing criticism, he embraced it. One cartoonist recalled being invited to breakfast at St. John's bungalow, Valaua, where Sir John asked him to redraw a cartoon lampooning him. This remarkable tolerance for dissent remains a monument to free speech in Sri Lanka. His leadership also extended to global affairs. During his tenure as Prime Minister, the world was divided into two major superpowers, bipolar, the United States and the Soviet Union. Yet, in a time when many newly independent nations aligned themselves with one bloc or the other, Sir John refused to blindly follow global superpowers. At the 1955 Afro-Asian Conference in Bandung, he made a controversial yet a bold statement. He said, I quote, "Communism is another form of imperialism, just like Western imperialism." Unquote. This declaration startled many, including the Indian Prime Minister Jawaharlal Nehru, who asked, "Why did you do it? Why did you not show me your speech beforehand?" Sir John's response was equally resolute. "Why should I? Do you show me yours before you gave them?" This exchange underscores his independence and refusal to be influenced by external forces, a quality that is increasingly rare in today's global political landscape. Gratitude is an essential virtue. After achieving enlightenment, the Buddha spent a week in deep contemplation under the bo tree, showing appreciation for the shelter it provided him. Similarly, Sir John never forgot those who shaped his life. In his biography, An Asian Prime Minister's Story, he dedicates the book to his mother, acknowledging her sacrifices, and credits his maternal uncle, F.R. Senanayake, for guiding him after his father's death. At the first meeting of the State Council in 1936, he wore the traditional Kandyan dress, a symbolic gesture that highlighted his respect for Sri Lankan heritage. Though some viewed him as an aristocrat, an elite, his actions tell a different story. Upon retiring from politics, he supported A.V. Haramanis, a commoner, to succeed him as the member of the Parliament for Dudangaslanda. Chancellor Sir, Vice Chancellor Sir, it's a tradition that one has to do an oration, you have to do a script and read it. May I have your permission to speak from my heart? And the earlier part was from the brain and the work that I did using parallel. Sir, in my life, I chose from bioscience to law because of one incident in court where one case had different views. But inside that decision was to be a politician. And Sir John was about 3-4 people who influenced me that when I was young. I was so totally amazed with his forthrightness. The way he worked as an individual. He was one of my heroes in young days. So when I look back, I got immersed in him. මට ආවේශ වුණා මේ පසුගිය දවස් තුනේම මේ ගැන හදාරද්දී. I felt I was amazingly proud of him. Sir, I feel I'm sure you must be reborn in Sri Lanka according to the religion that I belong to. And I'm sure and confident that you will lead this nation because we are in crisis. We are at a crossroad. And we need people like you. People who never had a personal agenda. Who always thought of the country. And we need people like that. And in front of me, I have these young people today. In front of me, very disciplined set of young people, which is nurtured by his name, Kotelawala Defence University. I'm very proud to be in front of you, sons and daughters. And I'm confident, sir, like the Asita Tausa in Buddhism, he was happy that the Buddha would become Buddha, but he cried because he would not live that long. I have that same feeling. When I stand in front of you, I know the country is in safe hands with you as leaders in different fields. And I know for sure that I will not live that long to see that. But I know for sure that you will lead this nation. And you will carry the legacy of Sir John Kotelawala to the future. Dear ladies and gentlemen, I represent here with my deputy principal, Shayan, the law college. Sri Lanka Law College is 150 years old. It's a proud heritage that came into being in 1873. Only 2 years younger to the Medical College of Sri Lanka. And that is amazing. The Law Students Union came into being in 1943, almost 73 years ago. And other religious institutes, we have Buddhist Brotherhood, Muslim Majlis, Christian Brotherhood, all those are 75 years old, Vice Chancellor Sir. And I represent that institution in front of you. Sir, Vice Chancellor Sir and the Chancellor Sir, myself and my deputy was confronted with students' proposals to start a boxing club and a wrestling club. Until 2 days back, we were reluctant because we never had a boxing ring or a wrestling mat or whatever facilities. So we were wondering how to do it. Young boys were very strong that they should do this. But after studying him, he was a wrestler, he was a boxer. So we said, okay, boys, let's go ahead. Let's have a wrestling club and a boxing club in Law College. And that's because of Sir John Kotelawala and this oration, sir. And only yesterday, we accepted a challenge, I would say a challenge, of a Kotelawala Defence University Challenge Shield, a singular debate, which will take place on 22nd of April. And we, the Sri Lanka Law College, will visit here to debate. So this oration is a starting point, where the Law College, which has such a long, big history, and KDU with such a great future, comes together. And I and Shehan represent that Sri Lanka Law College. And with you, sir, and the Dean Faculty of Law, we will make that bond between this old institution with a legacy, Sri Lanka Law College, and the university of the future, that is Kotelawala Defence University. So I hope, Vice Chancellor, sir, we will see you on the 22nd of April, and we will create history of union of these two great institutions. And that is all because of this oration. So this oration will be in the name of Sir John Kotelawala. That development, which I may not see, but the future after 10-15 years, the unity between Law College and the KDU will emerge thanks to Sir John Kotelawala. With that, I conclude this oration. I leave you with a quote from the movie Troy, 2004. The gods envy us because we are mortal, because any moment may be our last. Everything is more beautiful because we are doomed. This quote reflects humanity's innate drive to experiment, experience, adapt, and evolve, not in spite of our mortality, but because of it. It's a testament to our unrelenting desire to leave a legacy, to weave our stories into the vast tapestry of time with threads of love, triumph, sorrow, and pride. Yet time inevitably erodes even this grand set of legacies. Most fade into history, carried away by the ever-turning tides of change. But once in a lifetime, there emerges a figure so extraordinary that their influence transcends generation. Unbound by time, untouched by obscurity, today we gather to honor such a figure, a statesman, a visionary, a patriot, General Sir John Lionel Kotelawala, whose legacy remains undimmed, steadfast against the shifting winds of history. And I firmly believe it will endure for generations to come. For if there is one gift humanity possesses, it is the ability to carry forward the stories of those who shaped our world, one step at a time, like Sir John Kotelawala. With that solemn hope, I conclude this oration, trusting that I have done justice to the memory of an unparalleled leader. Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity. It was a memorable evening.
Thank you, sir. And may I request that you please remain on stage. Now, may I respectfully invite Rear Admiral H.G.U. Damik Kumara, the Vice Chancellor of General Sir John Kotelawala Defence University, to award the token of appreciation to the chief guest and the esteemed orator of the ceremony, President's Counsel, Mr. Prasanta Lal de Alvis, the Principal of the Sri Lanka Law College. Thank you, sirs. As we draw this remarkable evening to a close, let's reflect on the wisdom, the inspiration, and the leadership that have been honored through today's oration. The annual General Sir John Lionel Kotelawala Oration has truly been a testament to the enduring legacy of a visionary leader whose influence continues to shape these generations. On behalf of General Sir John Kotelawala Defence University, I extend my heartfelt gratitude to our esteemed chief guest and orator, President's Counsel, Mr. Prasanta Lal de Alvis, for his invaluable presence and his heartfelt address. Our sincere appreciation also goes out to all those who contributed to making this event a success. The engagement of all present this evening added immense value to this annual tradition as we continue to honor and uphold the legacy of General Sir John Kotelawala. With that, ladies and gentlemen, we formally conclude the commemoration oration of the 128th birth anniversary of late General the Right Honourable Sir John Lionel Kotelawala. I wish you all a pleasant evening.